Good afternoon to everybody. It's a pleasure to be here today. I'm Francesca Bonesi. I'm in charge of project management as a director in my company in APAC. Let me first of all introduce my company, UFI Group. UFI Group is a worldwide company based on the filtration system and thermal management. It was born in Italy in 1971, and now we have the presence in 21 countries, in 5 continents, and have more than 4,000 employees. We are going to expect to close this year with a turnover of 470 million euro. And let me say that we double our turnover from 2009. This is our presence around the world. As I mentioned before, we are in 5 different continents, and we are in 21 countries. We have a big impact in APAC, and we have also 3 independent R&D centers around the world. One is in our headquarters in Italy, one is in India, and one is here in China, in Shanghai. Let me show you our presence in APAC. In China, we have 6 production sites, and one is in Korea. And then we have a front office for our Japanese customer in Japan. We have, as I mentioned before, a very independent R&D center, able to develop our new product with also a development laboratory that can also test our product. Our group has 2 brands, the famous UFI Filters and also Sofima filter brand. And we was born to be in original equipment, to be inside the car when go out from the manufacturing side. Can be passenger vehicle, can be heavy duty, and can be also today in our electrical car. But we should not forget that we have also had 3 very important business units. One is the aftermarket with our own brand. The second one is high tech for racing and aerospace. Let me tell you that 9 of the 10 teams in F1 use our product. And the last one is hydraulic division, that is more for off-road application, mobile stationary. This is our main customer that, as before was shown, are the car manufacturer for a passenger vehicle, heavy duty, and also is coming new electrical vehicle manufacturer. Now, why we are here? Okay, the theme of this edition for IDI of this year was the power of creativity and performance. So we are here to just give you 3 examples of what is the meaning of UFI performance. So the first example is in air filtration for high demanding engine, and we will show you an application of our homemade multi-tube for Maserati, for the car the beautiful car that is outside the building. The second example is again for air filtration, but not for engine. Air filtration for people, because one of the aim of our company is also to protect the people. And the third one, we change a little bit product. We go in thermal management, and we will show you one example of our application of our cooling system for the new electrical vehicle in the e-axle. First of all, let me make open a small bracket, and I want to tell you that I'm very proud because this year is the 5th anniversary of my company, because we was born in 1971, and in 1972, UFI bring to the market the first air panel with a new kind of technology for the sealing for the air box that was the PU foaming. And later on, in 2016, we develop again our homemade type of air filter that is so-called multi-tube. UFI have developed a lot of media, made with our partnership with our supplier, and we have a portfolio of 170 kind of different media, specific for different applications. UFI have divided this 170 type of media in 6 different categories. One of these categories is called Formula UFI Extreme, and multi-tube is one part of this kind of Formula UFI Extreme. As the name suggests you, this kind of media is used in extreme condition. Of course, is tube. Okay, so as you can see here, we have the air that flow from outside to inside. And the new technology that was homemade can give to the engine 4% more in house power. Then this tube produced internally is very stable in terms of performance and is very light. So with a traditional air panel, we can reduce almost 25% of the weight of our air system. And then it's very flexible. We can, according to the layout of the customer, design our tube or a system of tube according to the needs. And a very important characteristic is the water resistant. So when the air goes through the tube, the water stays completely outside. So the internal side, the internal clean side of the air is just air. Another very important characteristic is the high filtration efficiency. And for this characteristic, I would like to give you some more tips in the next slide. But first of all, I'm very proud to show you the application of our multi-tube for the MC20 Maserati car. And here we have a video to show you this application. So we have 2 air filters, one on the left and one on the right. So it's a couple. So you can see the air flow from outside to the inside. And it's a very compact solution. Completely hydrophobic and also resistant to the fire. So, give you more information about our multi-tube. First of all, I have a polymeric structure. And as you can see from the picture on the left, is the volume that is working to filter the air. You can see here that we have 4 different layers, from a coarse fiber to a fine fiber. So it means that every different layer with different fiber is able to make a different kind of filtration, and so to guarantee a very high complex air filtration for this product. Considering that these 4 layers are customized according to the customer expectation. So is a homemade product that can really follow the expectation of the customer. Now, let me also give you some other application, not only Maserati, but also we are in Porsche 991 application already on the market, and coming soon will be an application for OnC, V6 and V8 that we are now developing in this year. Now we move to the second example that I want to show you. We're still speaking about air filtration, but not more air filtration for engine. We move our attention to the people. So I would like to show you some effective product for clean the air inside the cabin of the vehicle. Because in reality, more and more there is the need to purify, to clean the air inside the vehicle. Now we have pollen, we have dust, we have bacteria, and we know that we have also virus. And now they provide a clean environment inside the car is not an option. Now it's becoming really a must. And as you can see from the picture, what a filter is calling to do is a filter different kind of particle. They can have, like the pollen, 30 micron as size, as virus, 0.1 micron. So the aim here is to try with different kind of media to try to filter all of this kind of range of particle. What is the reply of UFI to solve this kind of needs? The first one is EPA filter. EPA is a well-known technology, and we can also think that EPA is an absolute filter because it's used in all of the environment that need really a very air filtration. In fact, the performance for 0.3 micron is 99.99% as filtration efficiency. The second example that I want to show you is our cabin filter. Also in this case, as you can see from the picture, we apply one of our category of UFI formula that is the Stratiflex. So it means a combination of different material that can make filtration. And I will start from the last one to go ahead. Again, we have a different particle to be separated from the rest of the air. We are speaking about dust, bacterial, virus, pollen. The first reply that we have developed recently is the UFI filter Argentium. This is a kind of cabin filter based on a silver technology, a biomaster technology, that with the silver technology we're able to inhibit the growth of the bacteria that are maybe inside the air. Plus we have a melt-blow media able to be against the PM2.5 and the PM10. Additionally, we have also our carbon layer that is able to absorb the air pollen, the gases, the VOC, and also the NOx. Additionally, we have also another type of cabin filter that is called Defend, which is having another characteristic. Is able, with a technology based on silver and copper, also to inhibit the virus that can be inside the air. This technology is working together to not clean, of course, but try to reduce the viral loading contaminant that there is in the air. Of course, it is well performing with the PM2.5 and PM10, and also have a combination of carbon layer to be able to absorb the VOC and the NOx. If now we go to the HEPA, let me remind you that the HEPA is a very old technology because it was developed in 1950 by a US industry company for a military function that was to combat the pollutant of the atomic bomb. So there is practically nothing to add in this kind of well-known media. It is applied today, as I was mentioned before, in extreme condition. We can think about food industry, pharmaceutical, surgery room, and so on. And let me give you also tips. In reality, EPA is not a particular filter, but is a classification of this kind of filter according to a standard that is EN 1822, and EPA is part of the group H, EPA filter, high efficiency particular air filter. In the market, when you speak about EPA, usually we have H13 or H14 that has a common sense, and before I was mentioned, was more than 99.95% at 0.3 micron. Which is the technology today to produce EPA filter? There are various. Let me mention glass fiber, nano fiber, PTEM membrane, and meltblown fiber. Let me say the first two are working through a filtering method when the air is passed through the media inside the media itself, while the PTFE membrane is working on the surface, the filtration. This kind of material is also known as Teflon, so it's also used in other application, can be also for the kitchen stuff. And as you understand, the surface is the main responsible to filter the dust and the particle to the clean side. And then we have also the meltblown solution that practically is a filament that is extruded from a small nozzle at high speed. Which is our application? Our application, we are going to implement in domestic application the meltblown fiber, while for the new electrical vehicle, we are applying the PTFE membrane solution. Now I change a kind of product, and I'm going to the number 3 example. We are in thermal management, and in particular, our idea is to show you the oil cooler for BVE transmission. As you know, today all of the car makers are going in the direction to have a zero emission as a transportation solution in the urban car. So all of the car makers, even the traditional one, is going to apply in the portfolio the famous electrical vehicle type. But what is the target of a battery vehicle, electrical vehicle? Is to maximize the range, durability, performance, minimizing the cost and the weight. Many car makers today are working versus the E-axis solution, already also mentioned by my previous colleague, Mr. Chi. And practically this is a very well solution, very good solution, because we have an integration of the e-motor, the transmission, and the inverter in one solution. And if we speak about the E-axle, it means that this solution, this compact solution, is based on the vehicle axis directly connected to the wheels. So, as you can imagine, a lot of car makers are going this solution because they can save a lot of components and reduce the size also of all the system. But there is a problem. The requirement of an electrical vehicle to work in the proper way is to control the range of the temperature. And you can imagine that if I have a compact solution, a solution with reduced dimension, is very difficult to dissipate heat. And this kind of system generate a lot of heat. So one of the aim of the car maker is also to manage the heat dissipation of this kind of system, because if we don't dissipate the heat, we have a degradation of the performance of the electrical vehicle, and we have a reduced life of the vehicle itself. So it's really needed to have a cooling system to help the e-motor to reduce the temperature when it's working. So today the cooling system is one of the key aspects to be developed together with the motor and the car maker. As you can see from the picture, the cooler, that is our product, is connected to the e-motor, transmission, and the inverter. The cooler for the transmission, of course, have a heat exchange between oil and water mixed with the glycol to cool down the temperature of the oil. In which way we make our product? We have already implemented from more than 10 years the vacuum brazing technology, that is a very clean technology, very stable, very reliable, and about brazing is the only one that can be used in aerospace application. On the right side, there is some of our products for transmission cooler, like Nidec, XPeng, and also Renault Nissan. And I would like to show you in details in this slide. So this is one application of a cooler for transmission rear axle, and for Nissan and Renault application that just started mass production very recently. Then we have an application, again for Maserati, for M189 BEV, when we have a couple of cooler to be together with the system to cool down the temperature, and we have in rear and front e-axle. And then we have a new example for XPeng. Also in this case, we have the rear and the front e-axle for a new project that is under development for a new kind of SUV that will be implemented in the next year in production. Thank you very much for your attention.